Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna be checking how to use Lina. But before we start, don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Also, comment on what you want to see next, and if there are some other ways that you use Lina. So, to start with, Lina is a protect type demon character. So that's pretty good actually. Depending on what you want to use, blue is really good for protect, and it's so redundant, but it's that way. And a demon is a very easy to use trait, so this is gonna be very strong. Lina is nowadays the character with the strongest attack stat in the game, which is very good. But because of that, to balance things, she's gonna have low defense and um, she's gonna be a little bit fragile. But it is okay even so. My Lina, just so that you know, is not fully max out, but I max out the attack stat. That's the important one. So besides, since I'm awakened, I'm going to have damage reduction to a good amount. So it's not gonna be that problematic that I don't have the other stats. But know that she can perform even better. So very quickly, let's check her skills. Lina, as you can see, is one of those characters which has two basic enhancers, which is between good and bad because sometimes that enables some things, but it also limits what you can do, the kind of combinations that you can do, because usually the basic are gonna be pretty bad if you don't have a basic enhancer. So, unorthodox swordsmanship, Storm, enhances normal attack, increase attack range. With one supporter, increases damage by 10%, with two supporters, increases damage by 20%, and with three supporters, increases particle charge by 50%. This is pretty good for dealing with enemy waves, with mobs. If you are fighting one single enemy, there's an advantage to it, and it's that it has a good amount of super armor. You don't get interrupted that easily. So it is okay to use, but preferably you want to use this when there are multiple enemies. The next skill is going to be the all blue, and it's Vanish, which is a hold debate. Channel the power of a storm into the sword and swing it down to perform an area attack. A thing to take into consideration is that this skill is a little bit slow. As you can see, there's some wind up animation just there before you deal your attack. So keep that in mind. And this becomes really fast. It's like nothing if you're using the butterfly weapon. So let's see. Increase damage by 10% for 10 seconds. That's great. That's really strong. Increase attack range by 40%. That's also very nice because the higher the attack range, the more enemies you can damage, and the more likely you're to hit a single enemy in case you're fighting a boss. And increase critical damage by 250%. Yeah. So it is not the best on blue, especially being a melee attack, because we don't have that many supporters that enhance melee critical on blue. Though it is appreciated, there are some other ways you can increase your crit rate or such, but it is a little bit rough to have the critical damage on blue. Even so, it is appreciated. Especially considering that it increases your damage by itself. Then we have Raging Tempest. Raging Tempest is it's the skill which was or should have. It is fine that it isn't, but is the skill that's supposed to be the launching attack. So why do I say this? Because this procs on all colors. Depending on which colors you have, you're going to proc the effects. So usually that's for the launching attacks, but it's fine that this isn't a launching attack, and in fact it's pretty good, though a little bit weird. So, immediately after an enemy attack, evade. Usually that's pretty bad, uh, but as not paper thin, like as fragile as Lina is, she can recover HP. She has means of recovering HP, so it's no problem that you have to proc this on receiving a hit and then evading. It's fine. When doing an instant dodge, knock back enemies and veils oneself with a storm for 4 seconds, dealing damage nearby. So as you can see, you're going to do these wind waves that are going to constantly deal damage to the enemy. With 1 green, the attack frequency of the storm increases. With 1 blue, the skill damage increases by 25. And with 1 red, the cooldown is reduced by 20%. This is already 7 seconds. It's a really short cooldown. So getting even a bigger reduction is going to be great. So I know what you think. It is not that impressive at first, but consider this: you're knocking back the enemy, and look, it's interrupting their actions. You're constantly attacking. It is really worth it, despite what you might think at first. Then we have unorthodox swordsmanship Cherry Blossom. Enhances normal attacks to scatter cherry blossom petals in the attack path, dealing consecutive damage. With 1 supporter, increases the speed of normal attacks by 5%. 2 supporters increase the speed of normal attacks by an additional 10%, and 3 supporters increase particle charge amount by 50%. This is really broken, and I mean really, really broken, especially if you're fighting a single enemy. I mean, you can also use it against multiple enemies, there's no problem. You're gonna attack so fast that you're going to break the super armor of the enemies, of all of the enemies in front of you. So, even though the AoE is not as big as this one, it is also usable against multiple enemies, but it's better against a single enemy. So yeah, it is really worth it, splashable, so use it whenever you want. Cherry Blossom Storm is a dash attack, it's the all red skill, and it says, charges forward and swings the sword, spray cherry blossom petals to perform a consecutive attack. So yeah, it is kind of a weird attack, as you can see. You're going to, let me check. Yeah, you swing that sword from bottom to top, and then you thrust it into the enemy or something like that. It's like, it looks like a saw or something. I don't know. So, 1 red decreases enemy's defense by 10% for 10 seconds. Long duration, but low percentage. It is okay. It is an added benefit. Increase attack range by 30%. I know it sounds unimpressive, but it is okay because you're going to be able to deal damage to more enemies with this attack. And increase skill damage by 150%. That's nice. That's pretty nice. I really like that effect because although it limits its usability because you don't want to use this on mixed builds because you lose the damage, it's a very good effect to have. The damage increase is just amazing, especially combined with that defense reduction. Let's see. The next one, Cherry Blossom Frenzy. This is going to be the perfect evade. Immediately before enemy attack, dodge. During an extreme dodge, summon a current of petals for 4 seconds and deal consecutive damage to enemies within range. So there's a bunch of good things about this skill. But first, let's check those effects. 2 green, stun the enemy. 2 blue, increase damage by 20% for 10 seconds. And 2 red, increase the duration of the current by 1 second. Obviously, the stun isn't that impressive. It's supposed to be for BR. Not BR, for PvP. But it's like, whatever. I guess it's going to be useful when we have guild wars, if we are going to fight multiple enemies on another team. Because it has a decent AoE. But the really important effects are the damage increase and the 1 second duration increase. Why does it matter? Because of the amount of multi-hits. This skill is pretty good to use to break the super armor of the enemy, to deal damage, to recover HP. I know that it doesn't say that, but you're gonna see on the builds all the things that this can do. And of course, the 20% damage increase is amazing on blue, especially with that duration. So, let's see. The next one is going to be Coral Sword Dance. It's a hold attack, summons a giant cherry blossom petal on the ground, and deals area damage to the surrounding enemies. 1 green increases speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Nice duration, and I mean, 10% isn't that much, but it is something on top of any other speed increase that you have. Increases attack range by 30%. Even with 30%, this skill I think is like barely big enough. It should be a little bit bigger in my opinion. And you're gonna see that, but I mean, it is kind of subjective. It depends on your point of view. And the last one increases critical rate by 50% and gains super armor while active. So the 50% critical rate isn't that important, but whenever we have this, we can use supporters that focus purely on damage on green, which is something that happens. I mean, there now we have 3 good options in Akane, Kowaru, and Nano, so you can take advantage of the critical rate. And the super armor is what really matters here, because though you're not going to use the super armor most of the time because you instantly teleport to different places, sometimes you do get interrupted if you don't use the super armor. You can give up this slot, this effect, but it is useful if you have it. Now, Cherry Blossom Binding Storm. During normal attacks, hold attack. This, unfortunately, is the 3 color set effect. So you need 3 of the same to activate the set effect. Swiftly dashes towards the enemy, performing a charging attack that deals damage to all enemies within route. When a slot effect is applied, heal 2% of damage given. That's the problem. This is the healing skill, and you have to go pure to heal. So that's not good. But fortunately, Lina can go mix and heal. And there's a way, and you're gonna like it. So, perform a consecutive attack by throwing small cherry blossom petals. Performs, that's 3 green. 3 blue, performs an additional attack with storm and pulls the enemy towards the character. With 3 red, performs a consecutive attack by throwing small petals. Small cherry blossom petals. So, yeah. Basically, you're going to dash forward, you're going to deal damage, and then you're going to deal more damage. With all of these, you do that, but the effect is going to change a little bit. Like blue is going to pull the enemy, red is going to do more attacks. Blue, green, and red do exactly the same. It is like performs consecutive attack by throwing small. Yeah, it is exactly the same. What happened there, Gremory? Isn't it supposed to be different? I mean, I'm fine with it because these two are going to do a ton of multi-hits and you're going to recover a lot of HP. That's fine. But the difference is that this one pulls the enemy, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it's okay, I guess. The important thing is that you recover HP. Then we have Late Bloomer. I think that I have to tell you beforehand. Late Bloomer is going to be affected by the butterfly weapon. You'll have a shorter window of opportunity to use this skill if you use the butterfly weapon, so be careful with that. So, immediately after attack, dash, 3-second cooldown, teleports teleports to the farthest enemy and performs falling attack, then follow up with additional attacks with the scattered cherry blossom petals. Yeah, I really don't like the first part, teleport to the farthest enemy. My god, I really hate that because you need to wait for the enemy to gather and then you do this skill. If not, you're going to activate your AoEs that stay in place, and then you're going to teleport elsewhere, and then the enemy is going to go after you far away from your AoE. So yeah, that's a little disadvantage of this skill. But let's continue with the effects. This works on the main. If it's a main green, increases attack range by 30%. I mean, usable, but I gotta say it's not the best effect. You want that if you want to use it as a damaging skill. Then, set the main blue increases damage by 10% for 5 seconds. Though it is good, it isn't that busted because of the short duration. So you can use it for a triple buff strategy, but it's just not the best. And set main decreases enemy defense by 10% for 10 seconds. That's the best one actually, because of the duration. So it is usable, but you have to be careful on about the timing, about the weapon that you have, and about the skills that you pair them with. Because obviously this doesn't work with Cherry Blossom, and I think it doesn't work with Raging Tempest. With counter and evade skills, that these skills don't work. You have to do an attack. And then we have the Awakening skill, which is that you get at level 81. Storm Drive. It's a hold attack. Be careful, guys. These two share commands. You cannot use them on the same build. So, swing the sword horizontally and pulls the enemy towards the character with the wind. That's actually pretty useful. I know it sounds like not a good idea, especially for a glass cannon like Lina, but it is fine. This works on two colors. With 2 green, increases speed by 20% for 10 seconds. Nice speed increase. 20% is something that you should be that you shouldn't neglect. It is pretty useful. Then, and the duration is pretty nice too. With 2 blue, increases attack range by 30%. That's usable, I guess. I mean, if you want to use this as a damaging skill, it's fine. And also a control skill. You would use it for damage and control in blue. Lastly, we have the red. Decreases enemies' defense by 20% for 10 seconds. Yeah, that's also pretty good. So I would say that the strongest ones are green and red, definitely. So now, let's start checking Lina. For Lina, I'm going to be using 2 weapons. I'm going to be using Senketsu. I have to thank Korn. I saw his video. I usually don't watch videos, but I know that he does good content, and he suggested on using this weapon. Why is this weapon important? Usually you want to go with the weapon that gives you critical damage, but obviously, look at this, increased damage to super armor, and you can use it. Okay, it's not limited to Asagi. So usually you want to use the weapon that gives critical damage, the SR that gives critical damage, but this is pretty useful because Lina has a bunch of skills that deal damage, but she doesn't recover that much HP, so it's an enabler. Lina already has a huge attack stat, so she's gonna continue to deal a lot of damage, but with this, you get the sustain that you need. It's this one and also Kaha Hirako. Kaha Hirako is super great because it's going to increase your speed. But I do not recommend that you use Kaha Hirako if you're using Late Bloomer. Especially with the combination of Storm Drive and Late Bloomer, it is pretty difficult to get the timing right. with that if you're using the butterfly weapon. It is super easy with any other weapon. So yeah, let's check the builds. And we're gonna start with blue. For blue, we're gonna go, let's see. Kahahirako, 5 out of 5, plus 14. The Anti-Demon Magatamas, you know it. Whatever Magatamas, 5 out of 5, plus 13. And here, we're gonna be using Unorthodox Swordsmanship Cherry Blossom. We're gonna be using Cherry Blossom Frenzy to increase my damage. And Cherry Blossom Blinding Storm. Yeah, this is for HP recovery. So it is basically it's a basic attack build. You just evade, then you do your basics, super fast and super strong, thanks to the weapon and the effect here, and also the speed increase of the basic enhancer. And this is your emergency button whenever you need HP recovery. For supporters, we're gonna be using Onisaki Kiraira. It's nice to have HP recovery on this, but mainly it's for the damage. Obviously, Onigumo. I still need more copies, but I don't have anything better than Onigumo. I mean, if you're on VR, you can use this. And we're using Lilim. Lilim is amazing. It's super good for protect type characters, and the active is pretty good. So keep that in mind. So let's test this. These are gonna be super fun. So I'm gonna go fast because there are many builds for her. It's just amazing how good she is. So look at the amount of multi-hits that she does. She is another contender for the best user for White Feather Asuka. Unfortunately, one of her best multi-hit attacks is actually the basic enhancer, and that doesn't work with White Feather Asuka. So yeah, that was only basics, but let's see. Immediately after attack, it's Cherry Blossom Frenzy, yeah. So right now I can use it. Oh my god, I got interrupted! No! It always happens. Okay. No. Okay. Let's imagine that didn't happen. I'm gonna do that again. I mean, I hate when they launch me into there. I got interrupted when I was going to recover my HP. But god. Okay. Okay, like this. Yeah, and you pull the enemy near. And after breaking the super armor, that's super useful. Because you continue with your attacks. You see? Nice. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. And I'm going to focus the gremlin. You. And I'm going to use the active too. Okay. Nice. Yes. Fortunately. So I get near the tornado and there. Easy peasy. Yeah. I mean, you have to be careful against multiple enemies. I mean, Lina is not tanky if you don't build her to be tanky. She can be super tanky, but let's see. This one, the supporters are the same, but we're using a different skill set. And for this one, actually, I think that I'm going to change it. No, I'm gonna keep it. So the weapon, you can change it here if you want to feel a little bit safer. Because we don't have HP recovery. We have Vanish. We have Cherry Blossom Frenzy. And Late Bloomer. So, what do you want to do? You want to use Cherry Blossom, then Vanish, then Late Bloomer. You cannot use Late Bloomer with Cherry Blossom Frenzy. But you can use it with the basics, but the basics are going to be slow. Well, not as slow, because I have the butterfly weapon. But yeah, they are slow compared to other your other basics. So I do this, and I do this, and I deal a ton of damage. Yeah, but kind of, you do it this, then this, then this, and you have a bunch of buffs. You can also add, in this specific build, Kana. I didn't use her, but Kana is a very reliable option here. You're gonna get 40% damage increase thanks to the weapon. It depends if you want to use the weapon or not. My god! Look at the damage! It is so big that I finished with everyone without noticing it. Without knowing. Wow. Amazing. Right? That's why I can just give up the HP recovery, because it's just strong. Really, really strong. And if you want more damage, you change Onigumo for... Well, depending on the number of copies of Onigumo. For me, it would be better to use Kana, because of the weapon that also give me a buff, and that increases my damage with Kana. Now we're gonna go red. No, green? Green. So let's go green. For the green one, we're using Crit, of course, and we're using Corporate Warrior Ingrid. She's really good for the builds of Lina. And I mean it. The green builds for Lina are amazing with this one, thanks to the AoE damage that she constantly deal with the passive, and also the damage increase that she's going to apply to the enemy. It's amazing. So we're gonna be using the Cherry Blossom again, because basics are really, really good when they're fast. And we're gonna use this for HP recovery, and a Storm Drive to get even faster. Yeah. This one is a basic attack build. So you just gather the enemies, you do your basic attacks, and you recover HP whenever you want. Yeah, obviously, Lina is gonna have many basic centric builds, because she has 2 basic enhancers, and those work pretty well, both of them. It's not like Ingrid that only one works well. So we do this, and we do basics, and everything is dead. Yeah, super fast, super good. Yeah, if you don't have the butterfly weapon, I really, really, really suggest that you go with the SR. It is your best option, because you're going to be able to deal a ton of damage and recover the HP according to the damage that you deal with the skills. Look at how fast I just break their super armor. It's amazing. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, I hate when she does that. I always say this on the on the videos, but god, those are annoying. Okay. Oh, well, doesn't matter. So, really, really strong. Really, really good. We're gonna do this with... Oh my god. This is mixed, so... I need to check my phone. Give me one moment. Here I have the camera. And let's see the other green. My god, I have so many builds here. Yeah, this is the other green. We're gonna use the same, but the skills are going to change a little bit. Instead of this one, I use a Storm. Just to give a little bit of variety. You can go with whichever you want. Both are good. We're gonna use Coral Sword. We cannot use them both on the same build. That's the problem. And besides, if you want to go basics, the 20% is more... It's ideal. Coral Sword only gives you 10%. And also Cherry Blossom because, well, HP recovery. So, let's see this one. Here, this is a build that you want to use against multiple enemies because of the AoE of all your attacks. As you can see, the basics are nice. the AoE of everything is super cool. I charge my attack and I do this, and look at the damage. Yeah, it is super great against multiple enemies, this build. The other one is better for single enemies. Recover HP and deal damage and deal damage. Yeah, they are done. Easy peasy. You see? No problem at all. Yeah, that was super easy. Now, let's go with red. Okay, for this one, red is excellent, and I mean really, really good. I have to send a mail to Gremory to ask them how many stacks are of defense reduction can an enemy can work on an enemy. For example, in FGO, I know that you can reduce the enemy's defense up to 100%. If you reduce the enemy's defense more than that, you're not going to apply those defense reductions. I don't know if there's a limit to how much you can reduce the defense of the enemy here. So I gotta ask Gremory. Lina. So this is the build that we're going to use. These three, along with the red skill, of course, Cherry Blossom Storm, Late Bloomer, and Storm Drive. This is kind of the equivalent of Chizuru. Defense reduction, and defense reduction. Chizuru is stronger on that department, but it is pretty good. And if you want to use this, you might as well equip White Feather Asuka. Because of the amount of multi-hits and so that the enemy doesn't hit you. I'm using Susune instead to get a little bit of control and recover HP. You don't have HP recovery, that's why I suggest White Feather Asuka. So that you control the enemy all the time. For this one, I'm going to change it. I'm going to use the other weapon here. Yeah, since it is risky, like super risky, we're gonna do this. We're gonna recover HP with this. But even so, I'm gonna deal a ton of damage. You're gonna see that it is too busted to use this weapon. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to hold attack, then use this, and then use this, the dash attack, and that's it. Look, I know, I'm not killing the enemy, guys. I know, but it's because of the weapon. I'm going the safe route here. I mean, if I wanted to, I could do something more aggressive, but I want to survive. Because one wrong step and you're gonna die with Lina. Let's see, I just move. I do this. Oops, I lose my timing. Okay, again. This, along with this, then dash attack. Look just how much HP I recover with each one of these. It's amazing, really. Oh, come on. Well, I'll just do this. Yeah. Even so, I'm dealing a ton of damage thanks to the defense reduction on all three skills. That's why I can use this weapon. Let's see. The other build is similar, but I think I'm gonna use the other weapon, so I'm gonna load any of these. Oh yeah, and I forget to put the maid costume, the red maid costume. Yeah, because it's a red build, why not? So let's see. Here we're gonna be using, honestly, you can put whatever on the main depending on what you want. I'm gonna use Yukina, I'm gonna use Lina, and I'm going to use, where are you? Yeah, Shirayuki. Shirayuki in the main because she has the best active among them. So we're gonna be using Cherry Blossom. Oh, I cannot read this. Binding Storm, yes, to recover HP. She already has that. Ah, because of the I loaded it. She's gonna use this one too, and she's going to use Cherry Blossom Frenzy. Yeah, with Frenzy in particular, it's pretty good to use White Feather Aska. So White Feather Aska, where are you? Here. So if you want to go with that, that's an option. In fact, I'm gonna do it. Why not? So I at least no, I don't get anything. I don't get any kind of damage here, but it is fine. It is fine because of the amount of control that I have. This has a great multi-hit. This has a great multi-hit. This has a great multi-hit. So you're gonna see. It's just perfect as it is. So we start with the evade. Then we do the dash attack. And then we do the basic. No, that's not it, but it also works. You can do the combo however you like. But the idea is that you start with the evade. Come on, there. Like that. Yeah, super easy. Super easy. Yeah, the basics are not great whenever you don't have the basic enhancers. So you might as well just keep evading, but you also want to attack because the enemy super armor is down. Look at that. Look at that. Enemy super armor down. Beautiful. Come on. Yes, there. Amazing, amazing. You saw how they didn't attack at all? Lina is one of the best characters for using White Feather Aska, as I said. Now, the next one, I think we're gonna start already with mixed. Yes. White Feather Aska, Lina, and we're gonna change Yukina for Suruga. Suruga. Here you are, Suruga. Okay. Late Bloomer. Let's see. Obviously, this is not going to be a thing. So, Late Bloomer, Raging Tempest, and I guess Cherry Blossom Frenzy? Yeah, definitely. So, what are we doing here? We are using these two skills to get a good amount of multi-hits. We're increasing the speed of this so that it also deals more attacks. And we are using this to reduce the enemy's defense and also deal some multi-hits. So, yeah, everything to proc Aska. That's why. It is pretty good. And you have... do I have HP recovery in this one? I think not. But it is okay. I mean, because of the amount of control that I have, I don't need the HP recovery. Come on, come on. Aha! There we go. Ah, yeah, White Feather Aska give me a little tiny bit of HP recovery, but it's, like, unimportant. Come on, come on. There and there. So this is going to make me multi-hit the enemy and use my... and break their super armor. Yeah, unfortunately, when you're not when you're not evading or receiving the hit, your attacks are like not that great. So that's the demerit that it is a good way to counter the enemy, but it is not a good way. Now that you have the enemy with the super armor down, it's like, what do you do? Your basics, maybe late bloomer, and that's about it. So yeah, it is fine, especially for BR, but I wouldn't use it like this on BR because it focuses on damage. You would need to use something like Major, like Sharia, along uh, with Hisui to get a ton of defense. And you just want to break the super armor. She's going to be the control character for the most part. Let's see. Another one. Let's see. This one is also with this weapon. It's gonna be Yukina. Where are you? Yukina? Yep. It's gonna be also Lilim, because Lilim is good. You can use, of course, whatever that increases damage. And Late Bloomer to reduce the defension. Raging Tempest to deal damage. And Storm. Yeah. Let me check. Defense reduction, damage increase, and damage. Preferably, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to change it right now, but preferably use the other weapon for this build, the SR. This is going to deal a lot of damage, so you don't have to sustain. So either you're gonna end quickly, or you're gonna die. So, oh yeah, no, forget it. I forgot one thing. Whenever we use that combo, we need to check to change the weapon. It is not up to debate. What's the problem? The window of opportunity to use that skill is just like the window of opportunity to use Late Bloomer after Storm is that's the name of the Storm Drive is super short. So we want to reduce the speed, my speed, so that I can use this properly. Yeah, look at that, easy to use that way, unlike before. Well, at least though it is gonna be slow, at least I have HP recovery now. Okay. And there we go. One more. Nice. Okay, you don't want to die? Then take this. So it is usable. It is not the strongest, definitely. But it is something that you can do. Okay. Come on. There. That's what I wanted. Getting this skill with this weapon is super good. You're going to recover HP just like crazy. Especially with the combination of green and something else. It can be red or blue, but blue gives you more damage. Come on, attack me. There. Okay, I'm going to... They don't let me use Late Bloomer. It is not that easy. I'm going to use Lilim to get more damage. There. I gather them. Come on, come on. Get around. Oh, 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 oh. Come on. Oh, no. Okay. That didn't work right now, but can we make it work? Let's see. I mean, I could easily just... Okay, I'll give up on damage. Or maybe get this. Yeah, a little bit of HP recovery is going to work. Yeah, this is not the one that freezes the enemy. There are 2 Kiaras and one freezes the enemy. So I do this and this, and they are dead. Well, I really need to use more late bloomer. The problem is that I'm dealing with multiple enemies. If I wasn't, late bloomer would be way better. Yeah, recover HP. Yeah, just look at how bad the basic attacks are with a non-speed increase weapon and no basic enhancers. Okay, like this. I do this. Oh, come on. I'm going to use the active here. Okay. No. Oof. That was close. Come on. Let me there. So getting to do this Raging Tempest is super important. Because that way you're going to recover HP. And I mean a ton of HP. Come on, hit there. There, nice. Yeah, it works, it works. But this is best for multiple enemies without super armor. That's the idea. So, let's see. Another one. 2 green, 1 blue. Oh, this is the speed one. This is good. This is good. For this, we're gonna use Sakuya. Even though we can get more damage reduction with Nana, Sakuya is going to give us speed on the active and speed reduction for the enemy. And we're gonna use the 2 crit supporters, Kaoru and Suruga. Kaoru, Suruga. There we go. Now, for skills, we want to use, if I'm not mistaken, Storm Drive, yes. We want to use Raging Tempest, and we're going to use Cherry Blossom. Let me check. Am I using... No. Here, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the other weapon, because this is a build for attack speed. So obviously, you want to use your fastest weapon. There. No. Where is the other... Ah, here. Okay. So, Unorthodox is going to be our main damaging skill. We use Storm and then Unorthodox. And in case the enemy gets near, we're going to use this to get some distance. You can change it for Late Bloomer depending on what you want to do. But I really like getting that knockback effect, because you easily destroy the super armor of the enemy. So the idea is to do this. First you do the storm, then you do your basics, and look, everyone is dead. Super fast. Yeah, no problems. This basic build is amazing. And I'm not using the active just yet. active and shred them, destroy them as fast as possible. Yeah, by using the active is going to be pretty easy. The Raging Tempest is just an emergency button, just in case. You see? But it is a risky strategy. You usually want to use this along with Felicia on VR, or you want to give something that gives you HP. Instead of Sakuya, you can go, depending on what you are doing, you could use this. People like to use this, but you don't have ways to snare the enemy. But the skill recovery HP, that's nice. You can also use Kirara. You can also use Akina. Depends on what you want to go for. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be crit, but we're gonna be using, where is she? Spica. It is exactly the same. Spica works pretty well because Lina, as you may have noticed, is a mixed attacker, so she works pretty well with that. We're gonna be using Cherry Blossom, yeah, Storm Drive, and Late Bloomer instead. We're gonna have chance to use Late Bloomer easily thanks to the invincibility. That's a thing. Let's see. And let's change the color of the custom. Yeah. I don't have enough skin, guys, to showcase them all, so sorry. Let's see. Let's go quickly. Oh my god, she has so many builds. I mean, it's been a while. So, obviously, we want to do this, and then basic attacks, and that's it. I always get the timing wrong on the skill. But it is not ideal to use Late Bloomer when you have so much attack speed. You see how I always messed up that? It is possible to use it, but I'm gonna use the invincibility. Yeah, it is another build that is based on the basic attack. So just be careful with Late Bloomer. If it's just too fast for you, you can change Late Bloomer for whatever you want. I couldn't use it. As you can see, I'm not that good when it's that fast. So you can change Late Bloomer for Raging Tempest, for example. Let's see. The next one is going to be 2 blue and 1 red. Kirara and Nana, along with Lina. And this is going to use Raging Tempest, along with Storm Drive, Storm Drive, and Cherry Blossom Frenzy. So what are we doing here? Dealing damage, dealing AoE damage, and gathering the enemies. So why does it matter? You're going to evade. You're going to gather the enemy, then you evade, then you take a hit and do Raging Tempest, and you're gonna deal a lot of damage, a lot of AoE damage. That's the idea. But for this, you most definitely want to use this weapon. It is just a healing fest with this. So let's test it. Let's see. I'm just checking in advance, And everything else is going to be with this weapon. Yes, I was just checking. Okay, so evade, gather. Yeah, and I got enough defense thanks to Nana, enough damage reduction, so that they don't do anything to me. Come on, there. Come on, hit me or something. They are not hitting me. Well, it is fine. When I face the ones with super armor, they are going to hit me. So I take a hit, I evade, I gather them, and look at that amount of damage. I constantly heal whatever they throw at me. Come on, there. I evade, I gather. Yeah, they can do nothing to stop my HP recovery. There. Yeah, the HP recovery build is insane. And it works, they just die. This is pretty good when you're facing multiple enemies with super armor. It is very viable. Let's see, the next one. This, and we're gonna keep the weapon for most of the next builds. Here we're gonna keep Nana, but we're gonna change the rest. We're gonna use Ingrid, because I already mentioned that she's pretty good and she also reduces the damage taken. And we're gonna use, obviously, Suruga to increase that critical rate so that you take advantage of Ingrid. Suruga. For this one, we're gonna be using, I guess, Raging Tempest because it's mixed. And instead of Storm, we're gonna use Coral. We're gonna give up that critical rate and super armor, but it's fine. And we're gonna be using Storm. This is a build for multiple enemies. As you can see, all of these are attacks with good AoEs. So this is best for farming or for stages with multiple mobs. And everyone is dead. Yep. Easy peasy. Raging Storm, Raging Tempest, you can change it, but it is just an emergency button. Especially good for HP recovery. You notice that with the right weapon. There. Okay. Nice. I haven't gotten interrupted. That's good. I just Raging Tempest. Raging Tempest. Come on, there. Coral Sword. Raging Tempest. Look at my HP. It doesn't go down. It is pretty good. Yeah, I usually never use SR weapons, but I gotta admit that the characters that can use these weapons are pretty good. Unfortunately, after Murasaki, they stopped releasing these weapons. So only characters who share with Yukikaze, Sakura, and Asagi, and also axe users like Murasaki can use these weapons. Let's see. Then, double green. No, three. Yeah, it's already for triple color. Let me check. I use Nana, I use the Founding, and I use Lina. I think there's a reason for Lina to be there. Yeah, definitely. Because obviously we're gonna use Raging Tempest. We're taking full advantage of this. And yeah, Late Bloomer along with a basic enhancer. Here I'm using a Storm. So just to finish, let's use this costume. And oh, wait a moment. Let me think. Yeah, since I'm using Late Bloomer, I won't change the weapon. You know that I don't like the speed increase with Late Bloomer because it's a little bit more difficult to use. Nice. Yeah, this is kind of the generic build that you know for any character that want to go triple color, but you also know that it is very difficult to go triple color with any character due to the oh come on due to the fact that they have launching attacks. Do I have Raging Tempest? I do. Why isn't it activating? Let's see. I'm gonna start with Raging Tempest. So just hit there. And I start with my basics and I don't get interrupted, which is nice. A ver, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Come on, come on. Again. Using Late Bloomer is very difficult here until there are no enemies with super armor. Or their super armor is down. Okay, come here. Okay, there, nice. Almost done. Yes, perfect, perfect. Well, there you go, guys. You can see that Lina is pretty good, but frail. But she can also, due to her traits, she can equip things that really, really help her with damage reduction. So, let's see. Let's analyze very quickly her weapons, as usual. Let's see. Asagi. So, since the SR weapons are usable with her, increase normal attack damage, increase damage attack. So this could be usable if you want. If you want to go for a basic strategy, increase damage against super armor. I mean, generic good. If you don't have anything better, this one you just saw that it's great. It's amazing because it gives the sustain that Lina desperately needs. The other ones, the other SRs, aren't as good because you're limited, like with any other weapon, to using. I forgot the name of the skill. Lina, where are you, Lina? Intimacy, there. You're locked to using Cherry Blossom Blinding Storm if you want to recover HP. So it is not a great idea to use those, or well, it is okay to use those weapons, but you want to use them on a 3-color set. Obviously, the Cherry Blossom weapon that you get if you go with Mileage. Naraku doesn't work with her. It's just a bait stick. This one, no real reason to use it. Low stats, particle charge doesn't matter that much with her. So yeah, don't use this one. This one increases normal attack damage against nerd enemies by 15%. Normal attacks have a 24% chance to deal damage against random enemies. So, no, deal. No, don't have a chance. Normal attack deal 24% damage against random enemies. So it is like usable, but maybe on VR, and it's not like the best option. This is just increase the attack speed for 5 seconds during normal attacks, that up to 5 times. So it is not bad, I gotta admit. It is another SR that you can use. Then we have this one is for Asagi. This one is probably one of the best, but as you just saw, it is not as simple as just a staple. Because if you're using late bloomer, then it's going to be difficult to use late bloomer for some of the skills. The arena weapons, the bad weapon that doesn't work unless we have infinite enemies. Not fishing pole. I mean, it is kind of the same as the snake weapons. It doesn't have such a good active that you want to use this, and you don't want to rely on ultis because we don't have that many supporters that enhance ulti damage. This, I mean, if you want to go crit, it's generally good, but I wouldn't recommend it as my first option. In fact, there's something better if you want to go crit. Anaros, I don't think it works with everyone, no. The same. This one increases damage dealt with ultimates by 25. When HP is under 20%, go into Berserker mode for 10 seconds. Berserker. Increase speed by 8%, increase damage dealt to all enemies by 8%, and damage taken from enemies by 8% is reduced. Heals 25% of HP recovery when the Berserker mode ends. Activates every 25 seconds. Well, I mean, particularly for her, it is usable because when you hit the 20%, you're going to use your skill to recover HP. But it is just too risky. I wouldn't recommend using this, though usable. This is for Asagi. This is her pack weapon, which when enemies spawn, increase damage dealt to all enemies by 18% for 9 seconds. Pretty bad because of the duration. And it doesn't say that it stacks, so it's not like you finish with one wave and then you stack it, so it is pretty bad. Besides, the stats are not that great. Let's see. Oh, the stats are actually normal? Oh, interesting. But you cannot get more S levels, so it doesn't matter. This one, Cherry Storm. Right now the banner is up for this one, I think. And increases critical damage by 28%. So it is, like, good. Just getting a 50%, 56% critical damage increase when max out is good. But there's more to it. This reduces the critical attack resistance by 15% for 10 seconds. So you're able to crit on BR. So it's an enabler. But I don't think it's just good enough. Especially for Lina. Because Lina is a main attacker. And she can take advantage of this individually. But her role in BR is not going to support others so that they can crit. I can tell you that. It's a nice effect to have for Lina, but you want that on a supporter like Emily, on a tank maybe, so that you do your thing and you get that added benefit for your main attacker who actually has the trade weapon. So, yeah, it is not as important as people think, though it is usable and it is very useful. And that's it. That's basically it. So I just want to double check. Do we have the Lina gacha? No, here. Lina gacha? Yes, we still have the Lina gacha. You want that? And, well, what can I say about Lina? She's good. She's strong. But very, very fragile. Fortunately, she is very FTV friendly with the fact that she can work with this weapon. That's a great thing. But the builds that you do with this weapon are very different. They rely heavily on multi-hit and skill damage. You don't want to go with basic generally. Raging Storm, Cherry Blossom Frenzy, those Raging Tempest and Cherry Blossom Frenzy are very good skills that go with that weapon because they do multi-hits, so you are constantly going to heal. But if you don't want to go with that, she naturally does her healing, but you have to go with pure colors. So it is very useful for challenging content, yes, definitely. Is she good for farming? She can do farming, but nothing beats auto farming like Emily and Shisui. Um, though she does have big AoE, so yeah, she can do it effectively. Um, but I wouldn't say that she's better than Mike at it. I mean, but she's melee after all. Well, she's a mixture, but she has to get into close combat to do all her stuff. So, yeah, that's about it for today. And what do you think about the Lina? She's good, she's bad, she's weak, she's strong, she's fragile, she's not. Do you have any other combos, any other combinations that you know work? So let me know in the comments. I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.